Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are in good health and taking great care of yourself. I am Fatima Kulsala from Atmiya Green School, Jadeshwar, and I welcome you all to our English class. So, students, as you know that we have completed the explanation portion of the chapter The Diamond Maker and also the reading one. So, today we would be continuing with reading 2. Let's see the first question of reading 2. What would you have done if you were in the narrator's place? So, the narrator did not buy the diamond from the diamond maker, right? What would you do if you were on his place? Now, students, these two answers in reading three question answers. It's like you can write the answers by yourself, but I have sample answers, so I will be sharing those answers with you, but you can totally write it by yourself if you want, okay? And I am also going to share the PDF of this chapter in the description box along with this video. So I hope that you can complete your writing work in your notebook. So let's see answer number 1. As I told you that answers may vary. So let's see the answer over here. Had I been in the narrator's place, I think I would have talked to a man knowledgeable about chemistry and the process of diamond making. I would tell him what the man told me to verify the truth of his statements. That means if I would be in the place of narrator, I would cross check the knowledge of that diamond maker to a chemist or a person who is related or who has information about chemistry, and I would let him know that the process which diamond maker made me understood to verify whether the diamond maker was saying truth or not, right? Now let's see question number 2. So let's see question number 2. H.G. Wells brings out the following themes in the story. Justify each of these. The first one has been done for you. So students, the author of the story, H.G. Wells, is trying out to establish the themes of story. That means the central idea of the story, or you can say the message or the lesson which the author wants to give you through the story. You need to see what you learn from the story and how do characters grow in the story, or what do characters learn in the story, right? So there are different themes and we need to justify each of them. The first one is done for you. It says dedication. So that is one of the theme of the author in the story. And the justification is that the diamond maker has spent 15 years of his life trying to perfect the art of making diamonds, right? Dedication means to give away yourself to something in such a manner that you forget about everything else. So here this theme is justified by the act of diamond maker. And what was the diamond maker's act? That he spent his 15 years, उसने अपनी लाइफ के 15 साल निकाल लिए डायमंड्स का आर्ट सीखने में. How to make diamonds. In learning that process, he just spent his 15 years of his life. Okay, now let's see the second one, that is desperation. The second point is desperation. That means the person is so hopeless that he is ready to do anything. And the act which justify this theme is the man was trying to sell his life's work for 100 pounds. He was ready to sell his 15 years of hard work, right? उसने जो अपने पूरे 15 साल के हार्ड वर्क था वो सिर्फ 100 पाउंड्स में बेचने के लिए रेडी हो गया था. The third one is sacrifice. So the act which justify it is when the man had no money to eat, he was given 6 pence by a kind person, and instead of buying food he bought coals to lit up the furnace. As we learned कि उसके लाइफ के ऐसे भी situation थी when he didn't had food, right? And once it was such a day that he had to beg to eat the food, and at that day when he got money, he didn't buy food but he just invested that money in buying coals so that he could lit up the furnace and he can carry out his work again. So that is the sacrifice that he gave for making diamonds. The next one is regret. Regret means pachtawa, right? The narrator regrets that he did not risk a few £100 for a brilliant business opportunity. Yes, he regretted his decision. He was not happy with his decision that he didn't give away £100 for that diamond, because it might have turned out into a successful business opportunity. The next one is appearance. Yes, appearance does matter. That is the theme of the story, and yes, it is justified, because I told you that if the diamond maker was well dressed and if he had a good car, if he looked proper, then nobody would judge him on the basis of his appearance, right? उसका appearance ही था जिसकी वजह से वो diamonds बेच नहीं पाया. So the narrator found the ragged, untidy, unnamed man hard to believe. His appearance made the prospect of large business improbable. That means उसका जो appearance था उसके basis पर उसका जो business का career था, right? His future prospect means his future career regarding large business was not possible. And the last one is isolation. The narrator preferred the solitude of Waterloo Bridge after a hard day's work. Yes, isolation means to get separated from somebody for some time and stay alone. ओके, सो ये वाला थीम भी जस्टिफाई होता है आपके चैप्टर के स्टार्टिंग में ही, जहाँ पे नरेटर प्रेफर करता है अकेले रहने का, राइट, आफ्टर अ हार्ड डेज वर्क टू गेट सम पीस. नाउ लेट्स सी क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. The story shows how it is always a bad idea to assess others on stereotypes rather than actions, and how does it bring this out? So the narrator met a ragged, unshaven, hopelessly poor man on the bridge. His talk of diamonds and how he made them was unbelievable to the narrator because of his appearance. In the story, we also see how the man's neighbor had wrongfully accused him of being an anarchist for carrying out experiments in his house. His secretive nature made him a suspicious person in the eyes of society, and he had to be on the run since then. Yes, so there is a specific thinking which everybody has in one's mind. So here the author tries to say that because of a mentality which is stereotype का मतलब होता है जैसे किसी की अपीयरेंस के बेस पर हम उसके बारे में जजमेंट ले लेते हैं, राइट. दैट इज़ आवर डिसीजन विच इज़ टोटली बेस्ड ऑन अपीयरेंस, राइट, और उसके एक्ट्स के बेसिस पर, द वे ही बिहेव्स, उसके बेस पर हम डिसाइड कर लेते हैं कि वो आदमी कैसा है. सो वही चीज़ यहाँ पे दिखाई गई है कि उसका वो जो बिहेवियर था, उसका जो अपीयरेंस था, उसको सबकी नज़रों में क्या बना देता था, अ बेगर and a person whom you can't believe, and he was also working in such a way that everybody felt that he is doing something wrong, and that's the reason he is hiding it from everybody else, और इसीलिए सबके मन में suspicion create हो गया था, and that's the reason he had to keep on running from that time onwards. जब से उसके नेबर ने पुलिस को कॉल करके बुला लिया, and after that time onward he kept running and he was not able to live a peaceful life. Now let's see the next topic, that is vocabulary. Okay, let's see the vocabulary portion, and in this chapter we are going to learn about idioms. An idiom is a group of words or phrase whose meaning is quite different from that of the individual words that make up that phrase. So what is an idiom? It is a group of words, right? Or you can say it's a phrase. That means it has 3-4 words, and the meaning of that phrase is quite different from the individual words in that phrase. मतलब जो words से phrase बना है, right, वो फ्रेज का मीनिंग अलग होता है और जो उसके इंडिविजुअल वर्ड्स होते हैं उसका मीनिंग अलग होता है. सो दैट इज़ कॉल्ड ईडियम्स. जैसे कि आप हिंदी में मुहावरे पढ़ते हो वैसे ही. गिवन बिलो आर अ फ्यू ईडियम्स. राइट द अप्रोप्रिएट वंस इन दियर करेक्ट फॉर्म्स to fill in the blanks in the sentence. So, here there are some sentences in which we have to fill the answer. Okay. Money is a real dash. He has an opinion about everything because he thinks he knows the answer to every question. So here the answer is smart aleck. Smart aleck means a person who is irritating because they behave as if they know everything. Although they don't know everything, but they behave in such a way. So here the phrase smart aleck is an idiom, and the meaning of different individual word is totally different. और यहाँ पे जो कहने का मतलब है वो बिल्कुल अलग है. So the first fill in the blank would be money is a real smart aleck. He has an opinion about everything because he thinks he knows answer to every question. Let's see the second one. She is a talented salesperson because she can talk very effectively with her dash. She can convince anyone to buy anything. So here the answer would be gift of the gab. And the meaning of this phrase is the ability to speak easily and confidently in such a way that the person who is standing in front of you wants to listen to you and believes in you, right? तो वो क्वालिटी तो होनी चाहिए सेल्स पर्सन में, तो ही वो अपनी चीज़ बेच पाएगा, राइट? नाउ लेट्स सी द थर्ड वन. My friend took such a long time to understand this simple equation. Actually, he is a bit dash. So here the answer would be slow on the uptake. That means that he is quite slow in understanding. Okay. So यहाँ पे हमारा थर्ड वाला आंसर आएगा slow on the uptake. Now let's see the next one, fourth one. Ginny did not go to school today as she was coughing a lot the previous night and was feeling a bit dash. So here the answer would be under the weather. Which means she was not keeping well, right? So here our answer would be under the weather. Let's see the next one. I have never used an ATM before and I dash how to draw money from it. So here our answer would be haven't a clue. What is the answer over here? Haven't a clue. That means he doesn't have any idea or any knowledge about how to withdraw the money from the ATM. Okay. Now let's see the sixth one. The shopkeeper thought he would succeed in dash. He was trying to sell me a used book for new one. So here the answer is pulling wool over someone's eyes. which means that he was trying to deceive or cheat someone. Okay, so the shopkeeper was trying to cheat me by selling me a used book for a new one. Next one, Veena is a quiet girl, but don't mistake her to be stupid. She is very sharp and clever and is really dash. So what could be the answer over here? Nobody's fool. Okay, so that is the answer over here. That means although she is quiet, don't consider her to be a foolish person. She is quite intelligent. Let's see the last one. Shabana has been in the travel business for more than 12 years. She dash in this industry. So that means over here the idiom used is knows what's what. That means she knows in and out of this business because she has been in this business for 12 years. That means she has all the information about this industry. So students, I hope that you are clear with the idioms. So now let's move on towards the grammar portion. So students, in the grammar portion, which is on page 122, we have relative clauses. Now, if you know, a sentence is divided into clauses, right? If you have studied before, you might be knowing that some sentences have only main clause and some sentences have main clause and subordinate clause. And the subordinate clause could be of different types, जैसे कि noun clause है, adverb है, adjective clause है, right? So यहाँ पे ये जो relative clause है, that is same as adjective clause. So you need to remember कि relative clause और adjective clause same होते हैं. And what do they describe? They describe or identify the noun or the noun phrase. Noun relative clause क्या करता है? It describes or identify the noun or the noun phrase. Okay? Let's just read the sentences over here so it would get clear. I turned my head and saw the side of man who was leaning over the parapet beside me. The narrator, whom the stranger met on the bridge, was there on an official visit. And the third one, I had to conduct my experiments in poor unfurnished room of Kentish town, where I slept on a straw mattress on the floor among all my apparatus. Now, if you see the first sentence, I turned my head and saw the side of man. So here, this portion is the main clause of the sentence. Okay. And the remaining portion, who was leaning over the parapet beside me. This is something which you can call subordinate clause. और subordinate clause कौन सा वाला है? Relative clause है. Because ये जो subordinate clause है, who was leaning over parapet beside me, ये किसके बारे में ज़्यादा बता रहा है? It is talking more about the man, right? So यहाँ पे ये जो word use हुआ है who, which is used for a man, which is there in the main clause. वो noun के बारे में ज़्यादा बता रहा है यहाँ पे, right? कि what is the man doing? The man who was leaning over the parapet beside me. So that is giving, this clause is giving more information about the man. So this clause will become relative clause. Okay. So whom does the clause who was leaning over the parapet beside me refers to? Secondly, दूसरे sentence में whom does the clause whom the stranger met on the bridge refer to? अभी ये जो दूसरा sentence है, the narrator whom the stranger met on the bridge was there on an official visit. So here if you see this sentence, this part of the sentence, whom the stranger met on the bridge, right? It is not necessary. If you read the sentence, the narrator was there on an official visit, that makes a perfect sense, right? तो ये जो है रिमेनिंग पोर्शन, द नरेटर वॉज देयर ऑन एन ऑफिशियल विजिट, ये है आपका मेन क्लॉज. और ये जो बीच में बचता है, whom the stranger met on the bridge, that is subordinate clause and it is relative clause. Why? Because this clause talks about narrator, right? किसके बारे में बात हो रही है? नरेटर के बारे में. So narrator is a noun and it is talking more about the noun. So that's why this is again a relative clause, because it is talking more about the noun. The next one, I had to conduct my experiments in a poor unfurnished room in Kentish Town, where I slept on a straw mattress on the floor among all my apparatus. So यहाँ पे ये जो है where I slept on a straw mattress, this is our relative clause. Why? Because this sentence talks about the unfurnished room in Kentish Town. So this can be considered as a noun phrase. ये अकेला noun नहीं है, right? Unfurnished room in Kentish Town, उसके बारे में ज़्यादा बता रहा है. So this is again a relative clause, okay? Because it is talking about a place which comes under the category of noun, right? Name, place, animal and thing. So यहाँ पे ये जो place है उसके बारे में ज़्यादा बता रहा है, and that's why where I slept on a straw mattress is a relative clause, okay? So I hope कि आपको ये समझ में आ गया कि relative clause क्या होता है. Relative clause modifies a noun or a pronoun by providing extra information about it. So what does relative clause do? It modifies a noun or a pronoun by providing extra information about it, which may not be necessary in the sentence, but still it is providing, and that's why it is a subordinate clause. ओके और ये सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज रिलेटिव क्लॉज है क्योंकि वो नाउन या तो प्रोनाउन के बारे में ज़्यादा बताता है. वो नाउन या प्रोनाउन भी हो सकता है या फिर नाउन फ्रेज भी हो सकता है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया. एंड रिलेटिव क्लॉज नॉर्मली बिगिन्स विथ हु, whom, which, that, whose, when, where, etc. अगर आपका जो सबऑर्डिनेट क्लॉज है वो ये सारे वर्ड्स से स्टार्ट होता है, ठीक है, हु, whom, which, that, whose, when and where, तो हम उसको रिलेटिव क्लॉज कहते हैं क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ये जो वर्ड्स होते हैं जिसके बाद पूरा क्लॉज होता है वो नाउन या प्रोनाउन के बारे में ही बात कर रहा होता है, इसलिए. ठीक है. सो स्टूडेंट्स, द वर्ड्स हु, whom, which, that, whose, when and where, these all are relative pronoun who shows the relation of that clause with the main clause. Okay, so let's see the usage of who. The relative pronoun who is used to refer to people. It is used when we are talking about a noun which is a person. Okay, जैसे कि I read about a man who could not see but gauge distance very well. So here I read about a man, that is your main clause. And the remaining portion, who could not see but gauge distance very well, that is relative clause, starting with the relative pronoun who, which is talking more about man, which is in the main clause. The second relative pronoun which is written over here is which. We use which to refer animals, things or whole sentences. For example, did you see the strange object which flew past our heads a moment ago? So here students, the strange object, that is a thing, right? और उसको डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए रिलेटिव प्रोनाउन यूज़ हुआ है which, and that relative pronoun shows or modifies the object, that is a thing. So, which flew past our heads a moment ago, that is our relative clause. Now, the next sentence over here is, he had no respect for his parents, which irritated me very much. So, here the word which is used to describe the whole sentence. मतलब जो मेन क्लॉज है उसके बारे में ही ज़्यादा बता रहा है यहाँ पे. So, he had no respect for his parents is not only a singular noun or a pronoun. It is a whole sentence, and you can say it's a kind of behavior which I don't like it. Okay. So, which irritated me is the relative clause. Now the next one is whose. Whose हम use करते हैं possession दिखाने के लिए, to show the possession of the people. For example, the man whose house was broken into will file a complaint with the police. So here, whose house was broken into, that is our relative clause. And here the word whose, right, it shows the possession of that house which belongs to the man, which is in the main clause, right. हमारा main clause इसमें क्या होगा, the man will file a complaint with the police. And कौन सा वाला आदमी, whose house was broken into, मतलब जिसके घर में चोरी हुई थी वो. Okay. The next one is whom. Whom is used to refer to the people which is in object position. मतलब जो सेंटेंस के अंदर जिस पर्सन को हम रेफर कर रहे हैं वो अगर ऑब्जेक्ट की जगह पर है देन वी हैव टू यूज़ whom, और अगर सब्जेक्ट की जगह पर है तो हम यूज़ करेंगे who. ठीक है. सो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर दीज टू थिंग्स, दैट who इज़ यूज्ड फॉर द पर्सन. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वी आर रेफरिंग टू अ सब्जेक्ट ऑफ दैट sentence, and when we are using whom, we are referring to the object of that sentence. For example, I was invited to a party by the man. So here this sentence is in passive voice, but यहाँ पे जो man है वो किसकी पोजीशन पर है, ऑब्जेक्ट की पोजीशन पर है. इसीलिए हमने रिलेटिव क्लॉज में जो प्रोनाउन यूज़ किया है वो है whom I had met at the music store. This is our relative clause which starts with whom, and it is talking more about the man who has invited me. Okay, लेकिन यहाँ पे ये जो सेंटेंस है वो पैसिव वॉइस में है और आपका जो ऑब्जेक्ट की जगह पर जो लिखा हुआ है वो पर्सन के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसीलिए हमने whom यूज़ किया है. And the last one is that it is used to refer people, animal or things. And remember, most of the time we use that for animal and things. People के लिए हम ज़्यादातर who या whom ही यूज़ करते हैं. यहाँ पे जैसे एग्जाम्पल है, I think it's silly to buy a pair of shoes that costs thousands of rupees. So here our relative clause is that cost thousands of rupees. That is our relative clause which is starting with relative pronoun that. और वो किसके बारे में ज़्यादा बोल रहा है, पेयर ऑफ शूज़ के बारे में. ठीक है. सो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर एज यू नो द वर्ड इटसेल्फ, रिलेटिव, दैट मीन्स जो रिलेशन दिखाता है वो. एंड एज आई टोल्ड यू, रिलेटिव क्लॉज इज सेम एज एडजेक्टिव क्लॉज, and they modify or says more about the noun or the pronoun in the sentence. Okay, so I hope that you are clear with relative clause. We would be moving ahead with the exercises in the next video. Take care and see you soon.